Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the second major bye, round 16. We're going to be going through the team list. There's definitely going to be quite a bit to look at because the team, I'm not even going to, I say I'm not going to talk about last week. I'm sure I'll bring up last week numerous times throughout this season, but I'll try to forget what happened with last week because, Jesus Christ, what an absolute shit show. There was quite a bit of carnage. I know for a fact we're down a couple of key numbers that I was banking on being pretty good plays this week, but hopefully a lot of the guys that rested or had niggles last week are suiting up. I do see one of the big boys there. So let's have a look. Dolphins versus Storm. Obviously, well, actually, I saw, Ryan Papenhuyzen also back. Big news there. Absolutely massive for, a couple of plays, really. But looking at the Dolphins, obviously, Trey Fuller comes back in for Hemiso, which, surely no one still owns Trey Fuller. You wouldn't think, but you never know. Maybe there's a couple of psychos out there. Rest of the backline as expected. Obviously, out of the backline, Herbie Farnworth is the guy that's killing it this year. Jermaine Asako has been a little bit lackluster, but still good. I'm still tempted. I'm still tempted by Asako potentially. We'll have a closer look at him. The halves as expected. And then the forward packs are the Bromwich boys in the front row. Jeremy Marshall-King, who is also pretty enticing, I would say. Connolly, Ewan Aiken, and Maxi Plath, also another guy that I'm potentially going to be looking at. Josh Kerr, Nichols, Stone, and my boy, Tavita Pangai Jr. People fucking don't like Tavita. I love Tavita, bro. I'm so happy he's back. I know it's so funny. You knew he was coming back. Like, he obviously came out and said he won't be back. Like, he doesn't like being coached, blah, blah, blah. It's just, you knew he was going to come back. And I got to be honest, I am excited to see him. Fuck, dude. Like, there's no reason to pick him up this week, but I know I've looked at him last week, or whenever it was he got introduced to Supercoach this year, but he's at 350k. I'm pretty sure he's dual to our front row forward. He's got the potential. Like, again, there's no reason to pick him up this week, unless you need to make money from somebody, I guess. But I think you can wait. Also with other forwards, who's out? I guess only really Felice Kafusi, who could just come and take Tavita Pangai's spot back, because Kerr's been playing well. Nichols and Ray Stone have all been pretty solid, so Tavita could be out straight away with Kafusi coming back in. So I wouldn't pick him up this week, but I gotta be honest, I'm excited to see him. Fuck, he can be so good. It was good for the Broncos that they got rid of him, but man, he had some, I don't care what anybody says, he was great for the Broncos. The Broncos were shit house, and Tavita Pangai was one of the only guys that were he almost won us games. He did win us games on occasion. I thought he was great at the Broncos, so I'm excited to see him come back, honestly. The Storm, so yeah, big news there. Ryan Papenhuyzen comes straight back into fullback. Warbrick. So yeah, Sua Falongo obviously moves to the wing, which is obvious what was going to happen because, Coates is out. So good news for Falongo owners. Grant Anderson, Nick Meaney in the centres. It's probably, I'm trying to think. It's definitely not great for Falongo owners. It could be. A winger, he could score a hat-trick, honestly. He could definitely score a hat-trick on the wing and go massive. But I think you would rather him at fullback. He's just going to get less carries. He's not going to be a winger that's going to take a bunch of carries. So he needs the attack, and he definitely could get it this game. So yeah, definitely not a bad thing for people that picked him up weeks ago. He was definitely he's gone great. So yeah, one of those guys we missed out on, unfortunately. Our boy Tyron Wishart is with Jerome Hughes, obviously. Kamikamitha, Josh King, Bronson Garlick is the starting dummy half with Sean Bloor, Katoa, and Trent Liero. Bench of Jack Howarth, Christian Welsh, Solomona, and Joe Chan. So yeah, still a strong side. It'll be good to see Ryan Pappenhausen back. I'm sure there'll be some people that probably look to pick him up potentially as a bit of a pod play. I mean, I'm definitely not going to. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't. I just think, I mean, the guy like Tedesco is just the better option. But if you wanted to go real poddish, I mean, Pappenhausen, it's not the worst shout. Unfortunately, like it's a shame because the Roosters and the Storm both play this round but then don't play 19. Like, if the Storm played this round and also 19, Pappenhausen would all of a sudden become like a very potential sneaky pod. But because they don't play 19, it's like, there's not really much point in getting him over some other guys. But yeah, I could see some people taking a little punt there. Moving on, Titans versus Warriors. I do see the big man Fafita, so thank God he's back. Otherwise, wow, what a wasted trade. Him cried out to Fafita would have been a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, Keanu Kinney's still a fullback. He's been killing it lately. Cam Pereira, Kelly, Sami, and Jojo Fafita. Campbell and Kieran Foran. I mean, Campbell, I don't necessarily think like Campbell's been great. Like, he's been good like in NRL, but like I still don't think he's like the best 5'8" going around. Just in terms of like obviously ball playing, he's a runner, which is not bad, but yeah, if he's on Fafita's side, it's obviously a bit of a bloody kick in the guts because you just got to give Fafita early footy. But he's been good in Supercoach. I mean, we were all excited for Jaden Campbell at the start of the season. I was, anyway. There was definitely some doubters, but honestly, I was very happy to pick up Campbell if he made it for round one. Obviously, he didn't. He's had his injury concerns. I'll have a look at him. Honestly, like, no, I won't, because I don't need a 5'8". I was thinking like, I'm potentially going Plath. He's dual 5'8" second row, but I'm getting Plath in the second row, if anything. So I don't need a 5'8". I got Galvin. Well, as long as Galvin's back, I think he will be. But yeah, if Galvin's out, then I mean Campbell, you could. They do play both. Yeah, they play both the buys, so I don't hate the Campbell play. If you're looking for a 5'8", obviously with the goal kicking as well, with Tanner Boyd not playing, Kieran Foran, Keenan Palacia, Chris Randall, Pahulu, Fafita, yes, back, Fermor and Aaron Clark. Sam Verrills, Liu, Fasoma, dude, I cannot. Fasoma Ali. Why can't I feel like I'm pretty good with most names. That name, brother. And Joe Stimson. Thank you, Joe. You saved me there. But Tanner Boyd's still on the extended. I mean, the only change I guess I could make for Tanner Boyd is drop Keeney and put Campbell back to fullback. But I mean, Keeney's been killing it. So like, I feel like Campbell as the goal kicking 5'8" is like, it's not locked in. Like, Tanner Boyd could definitely find himself back in the side, but as long as Keeney's playing well and Campbell's doing a good job, like, I don't think they're really going to drop Keeney, but you never know. They could look to bring Tanner Boyd back in. The Warriors, so Chans, fullback, Kossi, fuck me dead, Kossi. Oh my God. Thankfully there's no one from this Titans team. Like, every time Kossi, fucking every time, every single time a team is up against fucking Ed Kossi, he is by far the worst defending winger in the game. I'll call it now. He's the worst defending winger in the game. And you got guys like fucking Mike Acevo running around. But Kossi, maybe he's not as bad as I'm making it out to be, but every time I've seen him, he is an absolute fucking nuisance. And the reason I'm salty is because every time the team comes up against him, it's a winger that I don't have, and they got absolutely fucking bonkers. So who's ever up against Kossi's side this week, I'll be loading up on. I mean, could be Jojo. He's actually been pretty good, Jojo Fafita, but probably a little bit too expensive. But yeah, Kossi just, I guess they need him to come back in, but yeah, I'm being a little harsh, but He's cruelled me a couple of times with opposing wingers just going ballistic. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, great to see him back in. Very strange last week that he was 18th man and didn't come straight back into the team. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've seen some Warriors fans say that, oh, who are you going to drop for Roger? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Roger would take out any of these fucking Muppets. Like, shut the hell up. Like, you drop Pompey, you drop Barry. Obviously, Barry's out injured, so it's an easy swap. But, like, people were out here talking like, oh, does Roger actually come back in? Like, how do you drop Pompey? I'm like, what are you on, bro? Like, obviously Roger should come straight back in. So it was very strange last week he was 18th man, because I know it might be like, oh, maybe they were easing him back, but like if you had to play, like if there 18th man can get a like available, and he would have to go straight back in and play. So yeah, I don't know, weird one, but obviously the injury, I guess, makes a decision for Webster. Montoya, Pompey, obviously. Tamari Martin he's been killing it. Sean Johnson, not great last week, but I expect him to bounce back this week. It'll be, I mean, an interesting game, this. I expect a high-scoring game, that's for sure. And Fennell Blake, oh, God, fuck me. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get Fennell Blake this week. I don't think it's really, like, it's not the biggest concern with the team, but I can just see Fennell Blake scoring 2 tries against this Titans team and fucking going massive, dude. He hasn't scored in a couple of weeks, so he's definitely due, and he's like the Titans, like he's just gonna run riot. So I'll have a look to see if I can get him in, but honestly, like my front row is pretty stocked up at the moment, so I'm not too sure. Wade Egan, Jackson Ford in the front row still. Honestly, I like this move. Jackson Ford on the edge. He obviously has played some good footy on the edge, but he gives away so many penalties with like obstruction play. He's one of the worst. Like, he's a good line runner, but he's a terrible decoy runner, which is like, not good. He's taken away so many tries from the Warriors, and I like him at prop, honestly. Like, he's quick. Got good footwork, not the biggest body, obviously, but I probably prefer him at prop. And Murata Niokore he's been sensational since coming back in. Not really Supercoach relevant, but yeah, being great for the Warriors. Dylan Walker, the other edge back rower. That's right, Kurt Capel in the Origin team, so they needed to find someone. And also Barnett is the 18th man. So I was wondering, like, why the back row like that? But yeah, Barnett's the 18th man. And Capel is in the Queensland side, so a bit of a change there. Tohu Harris comes in and starts. Chanel, Harris-Tavita, Laban, Tavanga, Ale. Not too many. I mean, the only guy here is, if I can fit in Adam Fennell Blake, I wouldn't hate getting him in. I wouldn't hate getting him in. Roosters, Bulldogs. So these will be pretty, well, yeah, fairly changed, especially the Roosters, obviously. Tedesco, I just think number one priority at this point, I would say. Daniel Tupou, Ponga comes in for, well, no, he's still there for, was he? Oh, no, that's right, yeah. So, yeah, Jennings was centre and Ponga was on the wing because Dom Young, that's right, Dom Young is back because he was out last week, so that's good news. I wouldn't have, I don't know, I wouldn't have hated if Dom Young was out because it would have given me an easy trade out for someone who's very expensive. I could have made some money, but Dom Young's back, so it's good. I don't have to waste a trade on him. Joey Manu, Luke Keary, Sammy Walker, Hargrave, Smith, Terrell May starts, you beauty. I think honestly, I think after this week, depending how I'm looking for next round, because I'm pretty sure the Roosters play the backup game, they must. If I'm looking pretty good for next round, I actually don't hate the idea of trading Terrell May next week because, I feel like this could potentially not be his last round of being viable. Like, he'll definitely get the odd game where he's, has bigger minutes, but he's very unpredictable and, you're going to get to a point where you're going to have front rowers that are just going to be more consistently solid than going at Terrell May, who can get, 30... less than 30 minutes and then 70 minutes. So after this week, honestly, Terrell May trading out, don't hate it. Nat Butcher, Radley, White. I still, you know what? White picking up a few weeks ago still would have been a good pickup, honestly. Especially now that Connor Watson is playing Origin. White actually would have been a good pickup, but he hasn't, obviously it's not a massive loss either way. Sandon Smith, Blake Steep. I think that's a late change. I think I saw on Twitter that yeah, I'm positive I saw his name that he got a call up to the New South Wales under 19. So I think there's a change there for the Roosters. I think if that's him, Tilly Tupanua and Sia Wong. So I mean, yeah, it's a good bench for Terrell May. Like there's no doubt about that. And then the doggies, Connor Tracy, Gerald Skelton comes in on the wing. I mean, he's not going to keep the spot, but yeah, he's good. He's going to be good to watch, that's for sure. And he's got the Supercoach game in him. Bronson Xerri, Jacob Kiraz, Blake Wilson. Again, I'm actually, I hope last time Kiraz was playing centre, obviously in the bye because of Crichton. And I know people were upset by that. Honestly, I much prefer this because it showed there was an injury to the Dogs in that first bye. Kiraz went to the wing outside, I think, Xerri, and just saw no football for the rest of the game. Like, he just didn't get involved. Like he took his carries, but Xerri did not link up with him at all. At least at centre, he's going to be one of the main focal points in attack. So we'll get some nice early footy. I would much prefer him playing centre in these type of buys where he's not playing outside of like a Crichton or just regular NRL. So I prefer him playing centre for this buy. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I actually like it. He's going to be closer to the action. He's not going to rely on fucking Xerri or someone else who's not going to pass him the footy. So I actually like it. Matt Burton obviously comes back in. All the fucking dog whingers carrying on that he was 18th man. There you go. He got dropped. He's back at the Dogs. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be annoyed if I was like a Burton owner and then I sold him because he's obviously going to be a good little play this week. I definitely wouldn't be looking to pick him up, I don't think. But a good play for anybody that held out. Toby Sexton, Max King, Marnie, Hughes, Curran start. Okay, so Curran's back. Great news. He starts at in the back row. So that's, I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter with Curran. Like, he's going to be good wherever he plays. I'm sure he'll shift to the middle. I just hope he gets more minutes, honestly. And he probably will. I would imagine he'll play big minutes on the edge and then shift to the middle at certain points. But yeah, good to see him back after that pretty nasty head knock. Jamin Seaman, Haywood, Turpin, Farmasili, Morin, and Hopboy. Lipboy Hopboy. What a name, dude. That is insane. Lipboy Hopboy. That's one of the greats. That is one of the great names. Oh my. But again, that's a good bench for Curran to play massive minutes. He might just play 80 on the edge, honestly. Obviously with the Preston injury. Also, kick out. Okay, so kick out is back on the extended, but yeah, obviously I don't know, maybe a late change. He comes back in, but it looks like not quite ready to go. But I guess wait for late mail on Kickout, even though no one has Kickout, so it's fine. Rabbits, Seagulls. So we'll see the changes for the Rabbits. So Murray and Mitchell are out. Jai Gray. Oh, you know what? Jai Gray becomes a pretty interesting prospect, right? Because like he's dual, I'm pretty sure he's dual fullback 5'8", so I don't need him at 5'8", but fullback, I don't hate like a cheapy downgrade to Gray. He'll make good cash. He'll play this round. He'll definitely, again, if all goes well, he'll play 19 as well. He'll play the two major buys, and then he'll probably be out, which is fine. Like we can trade him out at some point or like switch him up potentially. It's a little tricky. He's not dual center wing fullback. That would have been so much nicer because it'll be a little bit. You probably can't really use him as enough. You'll have to trade him out because he'll take a fullback or a 5'8" spot, so not ideal, but I don't hate it. And I mean, there was talks that potentially Gray would keep the fullback spot and Mitchell would stay in the centres. Obviously, I mean, Mitchell's come back and he's killed it, so I don't expect Gray to stay at fullback and Mitchell to go to the centres after the form Mitchell's been in. But I don't hate the downgrade pickup of Gray. We got to trade out fucking Zalesniak, so Yeah, I don't know. We'll have a look. I don't know. Has he made money yet? We'll have a look. He might be a little bit expensive for that purpose, but we'll see. We'll see what he's looking like. Alex Johnson, Tane Milne, Richard Kenner, Jacob Gagai, Elsavi Gagai. He's actually done some pretty good stuff for me the last couple of weeks. I can't complain. Jack White and Cody Walker. I mean, it's good for Gagai that Walker didn't get picked for Origin. Because without Walker, Gagai would just have fucking Buckley's to score any points. But the fact Walker's there, he can hit a good cutout pass, and Gagai just can get a bit lucky and walk over like Johnston, hopefully a couple of times this week. That would be beautiful. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Dave Mwale, Damien Cook, Sean Kepi, Chikam, Arrow, Kalamatangi, Mamazulas, Duncan, Burgess, and LeBlanc. So, I mean, Chikam, he's held the spot because Kalamatangi's been killing it. So, I still expect, like, when Murray is, like, back after Origin stuff, that he'll shift to the back row. I mean, maybe Kalamatangi gets pushed to prop, but I don't know. I still see him as an edge back rower, potentially. But yeah, he's been pretty good. Like he scored that massive one, then he went a bit low, but he had a good bounce back last week. So he's been good, Kalamatangi. I think now, like I said last week, he got a bit too expensive. I think definitely this week he's a little bit too expensive for me to pick up. Like if you picked him up last week, pretty good trade in, but I don't think for me this week. The Manly boys, so Lehigh, Hopewade, God. Springing up bad memories, dude. Should have just gone with fucking Hopewade instead of Yuck. But yeah, he's obviously fullback. Jason Saab, Talatau Kula, Shop. So Aaron Shop, yeah, that's right. He was a mid-season transfer from the Titans, making use straight away. He comes into the centres. That's right. I was like, who's out? Garrick. Fucking Garrick, dude. Ruined my whole season last week. But yeah, Garrick's out, so Shop comes in. Tommy Talau, Luke Brooks, Carl Lawton at 7, Ethan Bullimore, Jake Simpkin. Sipley is playing. I thought he was gone. Apparently not too bad, the injury he suffered last week, so he's good to go. Corey Waddell, Ben Trebojevic, Nathan Brown starts at lock. Gordon, Ben Condon, Navale, Atasi James. I've seen this guy, James. I feel like I've seen him and he's looked pretty good the few times I've seen him play, but that is, it's a... Surely, fuck it, they got Jamie Humphries. I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched like any like New South Wales Cup and stuff this year, but in the trials, Humphries was so good. I mean, he played more dummy half in the trials, but I think he is more of a 5'8", like / halfback. Why would they not give Humphries the 7? Like, I'm a little, I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been playing as good as I think he is, but a bit of a weird one. I would think Humphries would be in the halves with Brooks, but I mean, I don't know. Carl Lawton, he does the job, is what it is. I don't hate this for, like, the Rabbitohs. Like, it's a pretty good matchup. Like, there's so many players out for the Manly boys, so it's not a bad matchup. Obviously missing Mitchell, the big X factor, but they should have enough for this Manly side, you would think. Hopefully Gagai can sneak a couple of tries. And then the final game, West Tigers versus the Raiders. I see him there, Lockie Galvin. Hopefully he is back, and he is. Dream Buller, Fire Tape, Brent Naden, Olam, Charlie Staines. God, I gotta say, that back four, fuck me dead, dude. It's a shocker. I mean, Olam is the odd man out. I mean, honestly, in fairness, Charlie Staines, he's been getting in and doing some hard work. He's been running hard, so I gotta give him props, but it's not the most appealing back four of all time, is it? Lockie Galvin, beautiful, back at 6. So, yeah, for people that sold, I don't know. I think it was a little bit silly selling Galvin last week, but I get it. I mean, if you brought in Walker, fair enough, but I mean, Galvin, he covers the buy so well, and he's been great. He's been fucking great in Supercoach, so good to see him back. Aiden Caesar with him, I think that's great as well. Like, having him and Caesar as a combo, I think will help Galvin. Stefano Apicrosau moves back to dummy half, which is handy. Fonopole, Ruben Porter, so that's a little sneaky, cheapy downgrade option that you... it's not the worst. Semi-Finu, Matamua, Talon De Silva, Sianu Finu, Alex Seyfarth, and Kit Lalili. Yeah, Ruben Porter's interesting. I know he played big minutes last week, and Seyfarth played through the middle, didn't he? So I don't know. Again, like, just as I don't mind getting like a player like him who potentially covers like some pretty handy buys, and if he nuffs out, he nuffs out. Like I've got like no nuffs. Like, I've got such good depth in the team that if I get a guy in that's going to nuff out like in a couple of weeks, honestly, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. And that's why I am annoyed at myself I didn't go with Hopewade last week, because the more I was looking at my team, I'm like, fuck, I didn't need to have that many. Like, I have good depth. Like, I could have taken the punt, but I played it safe and it fucking backfired. But Ruben Porter, another guy to watch, sort of like Jai Gray, but probably I don't know if he's just second row. I haven't seen him on Supercoach, but he's definitely a cheapie. We'll have a look. Also, is there anyone... I mean, Adam Dewey in the extended is nice. So still no... I think Bateman's still gone for a while, but still no Isaiah Papali'i in the extended. So, I mean, that's good for Ruben Porter, because they do need a back rower. They've tried Pole there. I thought that was ridiculous. Like, Seyfarth has been there, but again, I think he's a better middle forward. So if there's a spot there for a few weeks for a couple of buys, fuck, it wouldn't be the worst. And then the Raiders: Jordan Rapana, Kotrick, Timoko, Chris Savage, Strange, Weeks, Papali'i, Levi, Tarpany. Yeah, it's pretty unchanged. Obviously, Hudson Young misses out on Origin. You know, a little harsh, but I mean, Cameron Murray comes in, so it's pretty fair, I would say. Morgan Smithies. Am I trading Smithies? Fuck, I don't know. Maybe we just hold him, but I probably do have to trade him. Just with everyone else in my team, I don't really want to trade. Zach Wilford, Mariota, Trey Mooney, and Amre Gula. So a couple of interesting ones. Honestly, Teamlists has been pretty kind to me. Nothing like Fafita's back, Galvin's back, Dom Young's back. Who else? I think that they were the main ones. So yeah, good to see. Bit to talk about. It's going to be a big moving week with the shenanigans that happened last week. There's definitely some big trades we are going to be making. So hopefully, guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.